'Cause the wild boy wants to head for the watering hole. Let's go.
Another beautiful song from MARILLION on this album, Misplaced Childhood, requested by our patron Marco. Talks once again about it's more about Friday nights and how they spend time near a watering hole, the guys and girls, and all the things that they do. But at the end, it's, there's a sad reminder of the situation today for this person who's written this song, where he sees a man with sad eyes staring at himself from the mirror. A lot has changed in this world, in the last 10 to 15 years. Childhood, I think in most parts of the world, especially developing countries, has changed quite a lot. Till 10, 15 years ago, there was not much of a generation gap. When perhaps I would talk with my father, or when I would talk with my uncles, or I would talk with the elder generation when I was younger, or while I was growing up also. Our childhoods were more or less quite similar. But in the last 10 to 15 years, if I am assuming most of you all know this, a lot has changed. Now this generation cannot even fathom what the earlier 2 or 3 generations went through in their childhood. Because it was so different. It was so different. More or less with, I suppose, 99% of the world, the childhood is quite different for most people. In the last 10 to 15 years, a lot has changed in the world. Thanks or no thanks to technology. Technology definitely is a boon in many forms, and in many ways it's also a curse. This last 10 to 15 years, most of the children, most of the teenagers who are living their childhood, and even young adulthood, will have no clue what our childhoods were. Kirti, mine, yours probably, if you're an elderly person listening to this. Our childhoods were quite different. It's exactly similar in many ways to what's going on in this album. It's only the place and perhaps things that happened were a little bit different. But more or less, we all get what's happening here. We all connect with it. This generation won't. And I feel this generation is the generation that's going to have sad eyes looking at them in the mirror when they grow up. Here it's talking about one person perhaps, maybe the songwriter, maybe the principal character. We'll know maybe in the next few songs who this person is. A little bit more about this person. But this generation, when they look at themselves in the mirror in the future, they'll be looking at themselves pretty sad eyes, I'm assuming, because they haven't done much in their childhood which will give them lasting memories. I'm underlining or stressing on the word lasting. We all have memories, but this generation has very few lasting memories. And I've spoken to a lot of people from this generation, including my kids, other people's kids, and a lot of people who are my clients and students. Last 10, 15 years, more or less, they don't connect with what happened with us. Because while we were growing up, we did things that were completely different from what this generation is doing, and perhaps the next generation will also be doing. So when they look at themselves in the mirror, I'm sure they'll look at themselves pretty sadly because they haven't got any memories to remember. I mean, in those days, we didn't have a digital camera to take selfies and photos. And God knows the value of that selfie is worthless because you don't really even remember the photos you've taken. There are jokes that I have with my friends. When we literally look at selfies from 5 years ago, when this thing became first big, the word selfie and taking selfies, don't even remember the selfies I've taken. But when it comes to a childhood, there are few photos that I have around my home here itself. I remember exactly what happened on those days. What we were doing at that moment when that photograph was clicked. Because those are lasting memories for me. Today, I can't even remember what I did 5 years ago, probably. Even if it was a pretty big thing, chances are very high because of this whole technological boom that has happened because of these cameras, and I don't remember much. So here's one person who's probably looking back at his childhood and feeling how much his life has changed over the years. There were all these memories that happened in the past, and he's singing about them today or talking about them in the lyrics. But he's pretty sad when he's reminiscing about it. Very sad, forlorn, melancholic, if that's the word, melancholic. But he's feeling very, very sad. What are your thoughts?
On a different note, I felt he was born gay and he was not allowed to express himself. I don't know. I just
So there's nothing
got
wrong with
shades
that.
of little bit of that also. I'm saying that he was sad because he was
Like
not
Sansa
allowed
says,
to. Yeah, and there's
there's
nothing wrong with that.
that.
Yeah, you have to, you have to put the disclaimer up. But that's just for fun. I completely agree with what you said, Savio, and I feel that too. It's very easy for me to, literally remember all those best moments that I have of memory from my childhood. And I know, anybody else also had similar or, very, very same experiences when they also felt, yeah, I remember that, and, it was fun. Today's generation definitely misses it. And now I don't know about all the children, but even my own children, I don't know what exactly they are going to carry with them. So I feel sad at times that why things have changed this much, that we ourselves don't know as parents what exactly can you do to bring that back, because the lifestyle, everything has changed so much that it's hard for them to connect with the things that we connected, so you don't want to lose. At the same time, there's so much technology yet so little experience that we actually carry with ourselves. There's VR headsets and everything that enhance your experience of doing what you're doing. But at the same time, they don't really leave that imprint on you in the long term. So I don't understand. We keep on, discovering or innovating these new things that enhance a human experience. But at the same time, it is not really impactful. It's not really, it's using most of the senses, but at the same time, something is lacking. It's all about, our memory is an imprint of all the senses when they are used all together, and whatever remains is that beautiful memory. But then all of these technological devices also are using VR or amazing headphones and different things that, we are using into the AI, everything. But it's not really helping people connect with their experience that they are living. And that's, that's where technology is missing the human touch. I like this song.